All right, folks, good afternoon once again. My name is Robert Rodriguez. Welcome to our RPR Commercial course. We are recording our session, and as always, you can find our sessions in two places. You can go to youtube.com and you can look up the Miami Trainers. I see that Connie, my colleague, is also on the chat assisting us, and she went ahead and placed our email address and also our social media pages as well as our YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel named Miami Trainers, sorry, and you can find us simply by going to youtube.com and searching for Miami Trainers, or go directly to youtube.com/Miami Trainers. Inside of our YouTube channel, you'll be able to look for classes via playlist. So by selecting playlist, you can look for RPR classes, you can look for matrix classes, you can look for classes by trainer. So right here you have Connie, you have Maggie, you have Christy, you have Robert. You got Remind classes, you have Agent 3000 classes, Working with Investors courses, and many, many other classes. So our YouTube channel is an excellent resource. If you have not subscribed, please do so. You will receive notifications each and every time the Miami Trainers load new videos into the YouTube channel. Also, inside of your Miami dashboard, by looking for Miami Realtors Live, this is another way that you can follow us and you can look up the classes that we host and we load inside of our live channel. This is Miami Realtors Live. Not only the Miami Trainers classes, but other seminars that are hosted by the Miami Association of Realtors can be found inside of Miami Realtors Live. Okay. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to reach out to Connie in the chat. And I'm actually looking at the chat now, and it seems that our sponsor is here. So we're going to give George Camacho from Sudath Relocation some time to speak to you guys in reference to his company. Let me set this up real quick. All right. Good afternoon, George. Can you hear me? You're going to have to unmute yourself.
It works better that way, I think. I apologize. I've been having a little bit of a technical issue here. Hopefully everyone can see me.
Good afternoon. How
Robert,
are you? Yes.
Constance, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for that. I was hoping if you can just open my our website, or I can just share my screen, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, share your screen. I went ahead and made you a co-host, so you can share your screen. Or if you want me to share your website, I can. I just had it on right now.
Oh, okay. That works as well. So I can share this with your the attendees later on. Okay, great.
I'll share your website now. Give me 1 second. Share screen. And let's go here. And this is it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is George Camacho. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for Sudath Relocation Systems. We're a local, national, and international moving, storage, and relocation management company. Established in 1919 and headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, we have local presence, 30 plus locations worldwide, offices in Shanghai, London, New Delhi, and several others in Europe. And of course, a large presence in the United States through a network of agents called Unigroup, which comprises of United Van Lines and Mayflower Transit. We have offices here in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, Melbourne, and as I said, headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida. We are a global company, yet we have local presence, which means that if any of your customers are moving around the corner, or as they're moving to Seattle, Washington, or moving to Singapore, we have the infrastructure in place to help your customers with their moves. We have 2,500 employees worldwide, 2.7 million square feet of warehouse space, through temperature control and climate control, which is very important for high value items, and as well as several programs that can help real estate agents target more clients. Let me give you an example. There's one that's called the Sabbath Declutter and Store program. As you all know, if a staged home will have a better chance to close with a higher price as opposed to a home that's cluttered and has a lot of items, excess items. What we do is we gather those excess items and store them in vaults at a temperature control or climate control warehouse facility. And whenever they're ready with the transactions, just consolidate with the rest of the stuff and move them, as I said, locally, nationally, or internationally. I'll be sharing a brief PowerPoint presentation with some of the services and more information about our company via chat. I want to thank Robert again for giving me the courtesy of spending a couple of minutes with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Our pleasure, and thank you for being our sponsor today and being with us. We'll look forward to your information there on the chat.
Thank you again.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, folks, so let's get back to RPR. This is the RPR Commercial class. So everyone can find the RPR inside of your dashboard by looking for RPR. It's this red logo here with the colorful symbol of RPR. You're going to click, and it's going to land inside of the residential RPR. Most of you are interested in learning about the commercial RPR today, so we're going to go ahead and click on commercial. And if this is your first time using RPR, you do have a residential site and a commercial site. It is a nationwide database, so you have access to properties from around the US. This is the commercial RPR, and I'm going to snooze this for a week. And basically, those are little tips that are available for me. And then you'll see this little flashing purple symbol here. That means that we want to see the shortcuts. And at this point, I went ahead and I snoozed it for about a week, and it'll come back up, next week and letting me know, hey, here's some shortcuts around RPR Commercial. Now, inside of the RPR Commercial, you guys will notice that you can search for properties right here. Then you can also perform an in-depth analysis on any market in the US, and you can use maps to perform analysis as well. We are also going to use a feature from the RPR Commercial side to analyze investment properties, and that's how we are going to end our session today, by analyzing an investment property for your investor. Let's begin by looking for a property. It's very simple. We're going to click on Go to Search, and you can find properties by selecting all properties and putting in the address of the property. You can also look for properties for sale, for lease. You can do a market analysis, or you can use the thematic maps. We are going to enter in a commercial building, and some of you are going to know this address because this is our address for our building in Miami, and this is our, usually it comes up right away, but it's not coming up right away. But 700 South Royal Poinciana Boulevard is where our headquarters is located in Miami, Florida. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put in Miami, Florida, and we're gonna select the search bar, and here we go. So this is a commercial building. This is where the headquarters for the Miami Association of Realtors is located in Miami Springs, Florida. You guys will notice that this property is off the market. If it were on the market, it would tell you the listing details. So this property is currently off the market, and the building itself is 10 stories tall. It's 116,324 square feet, and it sits on 2.35 acres of land. It was built in 1987. You see pictures here because this property was listed in the past, and when a property is listed in the past, you will see previous pictures. And if the property were currently listed, you would also see pictures of the current listing. So you do have the ability to see pictures. You can also see the street level view. So right here would be the street level view, and then you also have an overhead view. Okay, so you got photo view, street view, and overhead view. Right here, you do have to evaluate the property analysis for investors, which we're going to talk about a little later today. If I wanted to run an investment analysis on this building, I would have to do a lot of research on the tenants and the financials of the building. So you'll notice right here that the owner is O2R Properties LLC and their mailing address, and then you have tenant data. So when you're in a building, a commercial building that has tenants, you're going to often see tenant data here, and you're going to click on show more in this case, and you get to see all the tenants in the building, the type of business the building or the type of business that the tenant is, and when the business started. So you have all this information inside of RPR. Right here, you have the Miami Association of Realtors, okay? And we're in Suite 400. You'll notice that our date goes back to 1942, all right? And then you have property facts right here. And by the way, the list of tenants, you can always add another tenant. So if you know of a tenant that is there and it's not on this list, you can always add more tenants. And then you can also print the entire list of tenants by clicking on Print List of Tenants. Under Property Facts, you have exactly what the tax roll says. If you know of any changes that you can make to the building, then you can make your own changes right here, and you would actually be making adjustments to your RPR and not RPR entirely. So for example, if I were to add additional square footage to the building, I'm only making changes to my program and not everyone else, okay? You can document notes on these changes by going here where it says notes, and you have up to 1,000 characters that you could put notes. You have some interior and exterior features. You also have schools in the area. You have legal description of the property. You have mortgage records on the property. So they took out a $5,354,000 loan with City National Bank of Florida back in 2015. And last year's taxes, 2019, were $307,324. Deed record shows you that this building was purchased back in 2015 for $16,250,000 by O2R Properties LLC. So this is the entire summary of your property. You can always print this page by selecting print right here, or you can create a report, which we're getting ready to do. If you select print, you're going to be printing the page exactly as you see it. If you wanted to do a more comprehensive report, then you're going to select report right here, and we're going to generate a report for this property. You can also save the property by selecting save, and this is going to place the property inside of your home page. So let's take a quick look at that. Let's click on home, and then right here, recent properties. All right, there's my property off the market, okay? So there's your properties, okay? Let's go ahead and click on that property once again, and let's create that report. So when you select create a report, you actually have 4 options. You have a commercial property report, you have a commercial trade area report, you have a commercial trade area analysis, and you have a commercial best business report. The first report is simply a property report. It tells you everything you want to know about the property. The second report actually contains more details. So if I click on more details, you'll see that it is going to contain a full trade area summary. It has consumer segmentations and consumer segment details. It has demographics, so it has population comparison, age comparison, marital status, economic comparison, education, and commute comparisons. You also have home value comparisons, best businesses, traffic count. All right, so you do have a full report here by selecting the commercial trade area report. So we're going to select it, and then I'm going to go down and I'm going to hit run report. Remember that you can always email the report inside of RPR by selecting the email to, and then putting in here the email address of the person you'd like to send this report to. So let's run the report now so we can view it together in a PDF format. So the reason why I ran the second report and not the third or the fourth is because the second report to me is the most complete report you can generate using this format. The commercial trade area report only has a map, a summary, analysis results grid, and about the data of RPR. And then of course the best businesses report has information about best businesses. So the most complete report, the combination of everything, is going to be the second report, which is the commercial trade area report. You'll notice that on the very top, you have under reports a notification letting you know that there is a report being generated. It usually takes a few minutes for the report to be generated. Also on the left-hand side, you're going to notice that there is a report being finalized. And once it's finalized, then I will be able to click and view the report. You do have 30 days to download your report before it is removed. RPR will save reports inside of the report folder for 30 days. So you have 30 days to download to your computer before it is removed. So here it is. The report is now finished. We're going to click on download report and let's take a look. So here is the Miami 33166 zip code. And then it has my branding. So those of you new to RPR, you're going to have to go to the settings and upload your photo and your logo and some of your contact information. All right, so in this area, the median household income is $55,459. The median age is 39.8. And then you also have the total population of 25,343. And then the dominant segment here is Metro Fusion. So what RPR does is that they're going to create 5 categories for the population in this area, and they're going to tell you what the categories are. So Metro Fusion is the dominant group, and not by much. 24.2% of the population is Metro Fusion, and then that's followed by Pleasantville, which is 24% of the population. Then you have International Marketplace coming in at 19.7%, City Lights at 11.7%, and the Golden Years at 5.4%. If you want to know more about these segments, then you're going to scroll down and you're going to read about each segment individually. So Metro Fusion is 24.2% of the population, and it's actually 1.4% of the population in the US. Who are we? And now we're not going to read all of this. I'm just going to read a few sentences from each so you more or less have an idea what we're doing. We're trying to understand the demographic in the area and see if it fits best for my business or my customer's business that they're trying to open in this area. So you have Metro Fusion is a young, diverse market. Many residences do not speak English fluently and have moved into their homes recently. Then over here on the right, it says about our neighborhood or our neighborhood. Over 60% of the homes are multi-unit structures located in an urban periphery. 3/4 of residences are renters, and rents are about 10% less than the US average. Market profile says they enjoy watching MTV, BET, Spanish TV networks, and pay-per-view. This is all about the zip code 33166. It says social economic traits. They're a diverse market with 30% Black, 34% Hispanic, and 20% foreign-born. Then you move on to the next one, which is Pleasantville, and Pleasantville may offer a different take on the population in the area. It says this is a suburban periphery of large metropolitan areas, primarily in the Middle Atlantic or Pacific states. Most homes owned and mortgaged. So those of you familiar with 33166, you know that you do have homes, and then you also have lots of multi-unit apartment buildings. So this one here is more for the multi-unit apartment buildings, and that is the #1 segment. The #2 segment is it fits more of the mortgaged homes that are in the suburbs. Then you have International Marketplace, which is 19% of this area. It says densely settled urban periphery of large metropolitan areas, East and West Coast. Young, diverse family market, 41% of the families with children, married couple or single parent, plus married couples without children, and a notable proportion of multi-generational households. So the idea behind this report is to understand who lives here and who your potential customers will be. The golden years, this is an older market, has a median age of 51 years, okay? And it says single person household over 40%, and married couples. Most of the housing was built most of the housing was built after 1970. And then you go into the demographics and you'll see that in 33166, you do have a total population of 25,343. And then in Miami-Dade County, 2.7 million people. In Florida, just over 21 million in population. The dark shade is the current year or last year's population, and then the yellow shade would be a projected count in the year 2024. Population density, they say that you have 2,378 people per square mile in zip code 33166. Population density or population change since the year 2010 is up 12.8%. So we do have a growing neighborhood, okay? And then the total daytime population jumps up to 78,015 people. So from 26,000 to 78,000 is a very large jump. So that basically tells us there's a lot of businesses in the area and people do work in this zip code. You do have a population density that also jumps to 7,323 people per square mile. So you do have a lot of businesses, maybe a lot of traffic in the area during working hours. Average household size is 2.72. Population living in family households, female-male ratio, so 49% or 49.5% female versus 50.5% male in this zip code. Age comparison, so 39.8% is, or sorry, 39.8 is the median age of the population. And then you have your population by age group, marital statuses. You have economic comparisons. So the average household income here is 76,178. So it's actually higher than the median. The median was right around 55,000. The average household income is coming in at 76,178. It is projected to go up to 86,000 in the year 2024. And it is just about even with Miami-Dade County's average household income of 77,000. Then you have your median household income of 55,000. Income per capita. So as you can see, it's a full demographic report. Now we talk about education here. You have your commute comparison. So for the most part, people are driving between 15 and 20 minutes, and that's 19% of the population drives about 20 minutes to get anywhere in this area. By the way, if you're wondering how all of this information is put together, you'll look to the left and it says data source, US Census, and the US Census and the American Community Survey via Esri. Esri is a data collector. It is one of the largest data collectors out there, and they put this report together for you on an annual basis. All right, so finishing off this report, this is going to tell you that there are not enough department stores or merchandise stores in 33166. Those of you that know 33166 is Miami Springs, so a very small residential community with a lot of industrial, industrial buildings and industrial warehousing. So this is exactly what it says. We don't have enough department stores or merchandise stores, which is true. And then what we have enough of, we have enough florists, enough motor vehicle dealers, we have enough special food services, electronics, and so on and so forth. You have your traffic counts here as well. And then about the data, so this is a page that tells people where we got our data and how often the data is published. All right, so to me, this is the most comprehensive report that you can provide a commercial customer looking to open their business there at 700 South Royal Poinciana Boulevard, so they can better understand their demographic and who their potential customers will be. Let's close this out. And we did this for one property, 700 South Royal Poinciana Boulevard. The next thing that I want to go over inside of RPR is how to perform an analysis of any market by doing performance in-depth analysis. So now we don't need a property, we just need either a zip code or a city. So what I'm gonna do is right here, we're gonna go ahead and put in a zip code, and let me go ahead and choose zip code 33134, which is a zip code in Coral Gables. Let's select, and then let's drop down right here where it says 5 people using spending and demographic data. So right here we have who they are, what they do, where they live, what they buy, how they behave, facts and stats. So let's go ahead and say who they are. And let's open this up, and you can look up by household sizes, income, net worth, personal finances for financial assets, income, residential debt, or real estate debt, vehicle debt, other debt. And then you have marital status, education, race, age, gender, and consumer segmentation. Let's go with income. And then you have median household income or average household income. You have income per capita. You have median disposable income, average disposable income, high disposable income by percentage. You have low disposable income by percentage, household below poverty level, and then married families below poverty level. So let's go with average. Let's go with average household income. And then you can also break it down by age group if you'd like to break it down by age group, or simply just go ahead and click on OK, and then let's run the analysis. So we're trying to find out what the average household incomes levels are in 33134. And then when looking at the map, it's going to go ahead and show you where the highest incomes are. And if you're familiar with Coral Gables, you know that zip code 33134 is not entirely Coral Gables. So for example, this is Southwest 8th Street, and to the north of Southwest 8th Street, there's only one true section that is Coral Gables, and that's this little section right here. This right here is Miami. To the south, so all of these shaded areas is Coral Gables. And then to the right, 3134 does stretch a little bit into Miami, and all of this is also Miami and not really Coral Gables. So where are my highest household incomes? All right, let's take a look. Okay, I think I just passed it. Yep, I did. So we have $273,000, and that is going to equal this area that you see here. All right, that area right there has the highest household income of $273,212. Now, before we move any further, I want to explain why this is useful. If you are prospecting for your business and you wanted to target an area with a high, average household income, then this is the area for you. Now you can zoom in, you can learn the area, and then go to whatever marketing program you use and apply the same region or the same location so you can get all the homeowners in the area and start either doing mailers or leaving brochures in their door, or maybe even trying to obtain people's phone numbers and email addresses. Remember that we do have another program that can assist you with this, and it's called Remind. So if you switch back to your Miami dashboard, and you can always go to Remind Pro, And in there, you have lots of prospecting tools that can help you figure out what's the best neighborhood for you to prospect, and also obtain contact information for the owners. So let's use Remind in conjunction with this, grabbing this area right there. The second area, and by the way, we do have classes for Remind. It's called Prospecting and Farming with Remind. And all you need to do is look on our calendar, see when we're offering it next. Or if you wanted to watch a pre-recorded class, go to our YouTube channel. Inside of a Remind playlist, you will see Prospecting and Farming with Remind. The next highest household income is going to be this one right here, coming in at 255, and basically it's its neighbor. So right here, this neighboring community is also a very high income community at $255,000 for your household income. Now, RPR does let you get labels or mailing labels if that's what you're interested in. You would have to basically recognize the area that you're looking at and then go over to the residential side and draw yourself an area and go get labels for mailers. Okay, so you'll be able to do that inside of RPR. And for that, folks, we invite you to an RPR residential course where we'll teach you a little bit about that side of RPR. All right, so let's go back, and I'm going to go back by clicking on market analysis on the upper right corner, and let's stay with the household incomes. And let's say you wanted to target females. All right, so your business is catering towards females, then you want to basically add more criteria right here, and you're going to combine once again with who they are, and then we're going to go with gender. Okay, and then we're going to go with females, and then hit OK, and then run analysis. Now we're looking for females in the highest, average household income. So right here, the $255,000 household income is 54.6% females. Okay, so you got 54% of the house of the people living in this area are females. All right, and you can do that. We're going to go back now to market analysis, and let's switch it up for a bit. Let's remove the let's remove this over here. You can remove it on the right, or basically change it around. So we're going to say what they buy, and then let's discuss. You can look for total expenditures, retail goods, alcoholic beverages, apparel, dining out, education. You have entertainment, you have financial services, food, and many others. We're going to go with apparel, and let's say that we're looking to do shoes. All right, so we have a client who's looking to open up a shoe store in the Coral Gables area, and they want to know the females and how much are they spending on shoes. Okay, so let's take a look. You have 1,000 down here and 1,200 down here. So this right here is 1,200, and that would be this area right there. And those women are spending an average of $1,263 a year in shoes. Okay, and then if you look over here, these are greater percentages. It may not be the most amount of money being spent. What I chose down here was the most amount of money being spent, but the percentage isn't the greatest. The percentage is greater up here. So you have 54% of the women spending $870 a year in shoes, or 54.6% of women spending $1,179 in shoes. So let's go ahead and select that one. And who are they? Well, it's the neighbors to the left. Okay, the neighbors to the left. Now remember, these are surveys put together, but also when you go to the store and you buy shoes, all right, and you use your credit card, that information is collected. They know where you live, and they know that you just bought a $100 pair of shoes. So that information is being collected and put together and then sold to, companies that have data, and this is how RPR is able to get this information. Okay, so let me now go back up to the market analysis, and let's switch it around again. And let's delete the females. All right, we're done with the women now at this point. All right, we're gonna hit OK, and let's stay with what they buy. And let's say our client is looking to open up dining out. Okay, so you have all dining out. You have all dining out at restaurants. You have for lunch, for dinner, snacks, or breakfast. Let's just go with all dining out in general and hit OK, and then run analysis. Let's see who spends the most amount of money dining out on a yearly basis. All right, I saw a $10,000 there, so that must be my group right there. So this middle group right here, where they were also buying shoes, that's also the highest, the group with the highest amount of spending dining out. I'm curious to see if I select this one. Yep, it'll be the neighbor to the left. And if I select this one, would it be the neighbor to the right? Nope, it's just the neighbor to the north. So this area right here, okay, is spending. For example, these people are spending $10,340 a year in dining out. Now, that's not going to count those who pay cash. This is basically counting those who dine out and pay with their credit card. Remember, this information is collected, and they know your address, and they know that you've been dining out. Okay, so $10,340 a year. When you divide that by 52 weeks, what do you have? Divided by 52 weeks, you have almost $200 a week that you're using to dine out. Okay, so interesting information that we're getting from RPR. I want to introduce you guys a new class that we have up and coming in October, October 14th at 9:30 in the morning. We have a class called Market Stats with Matrix, RPR, and more. And we're going to be featuring different ways to pull statistics from Matrix, from RPR, and other resources that the Miami Association offers. And this is going to help you better understand the market, also help you farm a particular market, and put together all of your reports that you always wish that you knew how to. Well, this class is going to teach you. It's called Market Stats with Matrix, RPR, and more, and it's being offered on October 14th and also on October 29th at 9:30 in the morning. So look forward to seeing you there. And as always, we do have the Spanish version of the class 30 minutes later. So if you can't make it at 9:30, but you can make it at 11 and you speak Spanish, then join us for the Spanish session. Okay, so let's go back to market analysis and let's do one more. Let's click on, let's see, let's click on how they behave. How they behave, you have where they purchase clothing, where they purchase shoes, the percentage of people ordering from websites, and then amount spent on internet orders. You have shopped at brick and mortar stores. You got household grocery store spending per week, household spending on home remodeling, and then time exercising each week. This is pretty interesting. Let's say your client is looking to open a health food spot, or maybe a vitamin shop, or a smoothie place, or maybe a CrossFit gym, or any kind of a fitness center, or maybe a spa. Then we're going to gear our marketing towards people who exercise 6+ hours per week. So let's select 6+ hours per week, click on OK, and then let's run this analysis. Now, again, this is not going to count for those who exercise at home, maybe those who exercise at the park, or they go running. This is mostly based on gym memberships and gym usage. Okay, So when we look here, we see that this area right there at 563 people. All right, so let's see. So it's quite different. Remember the demographic we were getting before was right around here and here. So this area right there spends 563 people spend over 6 hours a week working out. Okay, if you're familiar with this area of Coral Gables, I believe that the village of Merrick Park is right around here somewhere. And they do have a gym, a huge gym in there. Also, there's an LA Fitness close by as well. So the people living in this area definitely do a lot of exercise because they're spending at least 6 hours plus a week inside the gym. The next people would be this group right there. So your exact neighbors, well, not really. There's another segment right here. But anyways, this is an idea of who I can market my new fitness business or my new vitamin shop or smoothie shop, or maybe, you know, if you're going to open a healthy eating place, then you can market your business to these people because for the most part, they're the ones that are working out the most. Okay. The next one is a huge drop. You have 394 people, and that would be this little section up here. Okay. So that was time spent exercising. And if I click on start over, basically it starts over. So remember that you have market analysis right here to get back to where we were. And then start over, basically you're going to delete everything. So remember that you can use these 5 times over. So the criteria, you can mix and match all these criterias to pull your own demographic. All right, so when you say what they do, it's going to be by industry of employment. So let's say you're looking for doctors or you're looking for musicians or teachers. You can actually look up demographics by industry of employment. You can also look up demographics by where they live. Do they live in a condo? Do they live in a single family home? Do they live in a multi-family home? Okay, and we discussed what they buy and we just saw how they behave, and then you have facts and stats. Okay, so use this as a way to obtain information on, you know, a demographic that's going to best suit your customer's business or business plan. Okay. Now I'm going to move into the analysis for investors tool. And for this, what I'm actually going to do is go to Matrix real quickly and choose a property that's not too difficult to perform. Because if I choose a property like 700 South Royal Poinciana Boulevard, on top of the fact that we probably don't have financials for them, it'll take me probably a week or two to get it done. So I'm actually going to go to search, and then I'm going to look for multifamily. So under commercial improved, we're going to look for the apartment buildings for sale in zip code 33135. Let's see if there's any available in 33135. There's 7 matches, so let's hit results. And then let's pick here $990,000. Let's take a look. All right. Not too crazy about the conditions of this building. What's this? $1.4 million. What do you have here? Exceptional property. No, that's potential. They're selling that based on potential. Here's one that looks nice. All right. Let's go with this one. So they're selling this at $1,700,000. It's a 6-unit building. Okay. It's a 6-unit building now. Having the potential income on the property would be great. Maybe they have an attachment. In this case, they don't. All right, so it's this new 6-unit fenced building with ample parking spaces. Rent, 6% high demand rental. You know, unfortunately, I don't know what the rents are in this area. Let's just make it up, all right? Because we're running out of time. Let's make it up. At this point, you would, if you have a client who's interested in this property, you're gonna have to contact the broker and ask them for financials because they did not provide any financials in either a form of attachment or down here under the financial information. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to click on the RPR logo right here in the listing, and let's open up the property inside of RPR. And we're gonna play pretend just for class purposes. All right, so here we have the property, and then we're gonna look for the Evaluate Property Analysis for Investors tool, which you'll always find inside of every listing or any property inside of RPR. We're gonna click on this and we're gonna click on Continue. All right, we're gonna select the property type as a multifamily, and then you're going to see that the property is for sale $1.7 million, and it's 6 units. All right. Now, Matrix says that this is new, all right, and they do look very nice, okay? So I'm going to put together my own rental plan for this. These are 6 2-bedroom units, okay? And let me see if I just come up with a price right now of, let's say $2,200 a month per unit, okay? Let's say it's $2,200 a month per unit. So I'm going to add up the $2,200 per month times 6 units. That's 13,200. And then times 12 months, you have $158,400 in annual income. So you want to go back here and you go potential gross rent, and it's $158,400 in potential rental income. Okay. Now you have to calculate what your expenses will be. All right, so for this, I'm gonna go back to Matrix and see what the tax bill was last year. So last year's taxes, or the tax amount, is $15,211. I'm gonna double check that with IMAP. So I'm gonna click on IMAP, which is the logo with the I, and we're gonna see what the tax bill was last year, if indeed it was $15,000. Okay, so last year's taxes was $15,845. The assessed value really hasn't gone up much. Actually, it went up from 742 to 759 in 2020. So expect the tax bill to be somewhere around 16.5, let's say. All right, so I'm gonna pull out my calculator and I'm going to estimate that tax bill being at $16,500. All right, so $16,500 plus insurance on a building like this is probably going to run you somewhere around $6,000 a year, or probably a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and just use $6,000. Okay, so $16,500 plus $6,000, we're at $22,500. What else do we need to take care of? All right, so I assume that they're gonna pay their own electricity and water since this is new. All right, so they're gonna pay their own electric bill and their own water bills. All right, you got 6 of each. They have their own meters. Tenant pays interior electric and water. So we don't have to take care of interior electric or water. However, we do have to take care of the exterior. So common area electricity and water, I'm gonna go ahead and estimate that to be let's say 150 a month. Okay, so that's going to be about $1,800, and I'm adding that to the total right now, and we're at $24,300. $24,300. Now, you are going to need a property manager, and a property manager usually will be 10% of your income. So 158,400, 10% of that is 15,840. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add another 15,840 in expenses for a property manager. We're at $40,000 of expenses. Okay. And I'm going to stop right there. Since we're just throwing numbers to estimate, I want to remind everyone that you're going to have to confirm these numbers in order to get an accurate reading. If I had chosen a listing that does provide me with a presentation of the expenses, then perhaps I would have been able to get a better number. So these are my taxes, insurance. This was also the interior and not the interior, the exterior electric and the exterior water, and then also property manager. Okay. One more thing, you also want to do vacancy. So a loss of vacancy. So we're going to go ahead and remove another month. So we mentioned that $13,000 was our monthly income from this. So I'm going to add another 13,000 to this. So we're going to lose a month of income, and that's going to leave us at 53,140 of expenses. All right. So we can expect to have at least vacancy in each unit 1 month out of the year, and that's what I just did. I went ahead and I accounted for that. So as you can see, with a total gross potential rent of $158,000 and expenses of 53, you are going to have a very healthy net operating income. Okay. Now we're going to purchase this on October 1st of this year, and it's going to be a 10-year hold. You can go you can go 2 to 10 years. All right. If you wanted to do anything less than 2 years, then you have to switch up here. You would have to do what's called a short term. This is going to be more of a long term. So if you are going to take out a loan, you're going to put in your LTV or your loan to value percentage. Let's put 70%. And then our interest rate, let's say our interest rate, since this is a commercial transaction, we'll leave it at 5%. Okay. 70% loan, 30% down payment with a 5% interest rate. Hit submit. And this is a very healthy purchase based on being able to rent the units at $2,200 a month, which I am not sure if that's going to be the case. And then based on the expenses I put in, you're getting a levered return on your investment of 13.10% average cash on cash. And your internal rate of return is at 16.9%. So it's a really, really healthy return on this property. And you can analyze this with any property inside of RPR, whether they are on the market or off the market. You can run analysis like this. You can go to purchase and sale to add some more numbers. If you, let's say, purchase it for a lower amount, all right, look, it's giving you a very healthy 6.47% cap rate on this. All right. You can estimate. I don't like doing this because estimating how much I'm going to sell the property for in 10 years is really, really hard. So at this point, I don't like to use this over here because it says on October 31st of the year 2030, I expect to sell it at, let's say $3 million. And then it's going to give you the sales capitalization rate based on you selling it, in 10 years at double the amount. So I don't really like to use this, but you have purchase and sale, and then you have sources of funds. So, if your interest rate is different, or if you want to refinance your loan after a 2-year holding period, you can work on these numbers as well. Okay. Your unlevered analysis is always your cash transaction. So if you're buying this cash, then you have your unlevered analysis, and your cash transaction is actually making you less money in return, because you're putting more of your money in. You're putting more of your money into the table. So, for example, you bought it for $1,700,000 after a 10-year period. Your cash flow would have generated you $1,470,000. That's 84% return. All right, 8.48 times 10. That's 84% return. But if you come in with a 30% down payment and you generate $838,000 in cash flow, that's over 100%. That's actually 16.9% over a 10-year period. That's like 160% of a return on your investment. All right. So whenever you hear people that you should always buy an investment property by mortgaging it, financing it, it is true. You are going to make more money by financing a deal. Okay. All right. So you can print this by clicking on, here, File, and you go to export, and you can export the entire thing into a report into a PDF, or you can export the entire report into an Excel sheet. All right, so this is how you go to File, and then you go to Export PDF or Excel sheet, or you can start a new file by hitting File once again, New File, and then you begin your analysis again by changing around the numbers. Okay. Remember that this class is offered inside of YouTube. I'm actually going to edit this video today and then place it inside of YouTube. So if those of you interested in watching this very video today, not today, but if you're interested in watching this very video at some point tomorrow or the day after I edit the video, I will be placing it inside of YouTube. Okay. That's going to bring us to the conclusion of our presentation. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email trainers@miamire.com, and we would be happy to assist. Thank you, Connie, for joining us today and assisting us in the chat. It's always a pleasure having you on board with us. And thank everyone for watching our presentation, and wishing everyone a great afternoon. And thank you for being Miami members.